this is Jodia Vanel with Biz Talks. I hope that you all have been enjoying our episodes. Make sure that you watch, you subscribe, and you keep following us for new entrepreneurs and small businesses that we'll be featuring. Today we're featuring Jamie Ralliford. She's an international DJ and she's in the beauty and clothing business. I can't wait for you to check her out and hear her story. I'm Jodia Vanel, and I am the CEO and founder of Nez Van Mar, a consulting and project management team. During this Biz Talk, we will be talking with Jamie Ralliford, an entrepreneur with many different businesses. So welcome, Jamie.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Jody. I really appreciate it. Excited to have our conversation.
I know I'm very excited to have this conversation with you because you are so dynamic and you do so many different things. So give us a sense of what it is that Jamie Ralliford does.
So Jamie Ralliford is a mom, sister, wife, business owner, and corporate employee. I also own a DJ business. Some may know me as Miss Chu, the DJ. I've been DJing now for about 12 years, which DJing spun off into my boutique, which is Bold and Boss, premium hair collection and style. We specialize in luxury hair extensions and fashion forward clothing for the everyday business.
Tell me, how do you handle all of that? What is your motivation?
My motivation, I guess, is really just to be better than I was the day before. I've always been driven by just figuring out how to find time to, one, make money, because I actually enjoy each aspect of my life. I like my corporate existence, and I also enjoy music. Music is my first love, and I like fashion and hair. And with music, being a performer, having a DJ in front of audiences, there was always a need for me to be camera ready. And what I found was there was a lack in the industry for quality hair extensions and just on the ready fashion. And that's where I kind of spun off into Bold and Boss, because I got tired of going to Macy's and they didn't have what I need. I'd go to one of the hair companies and my hair would shed or it wouldn't dye. The quality just wasn't there. So I decided to take that on myself and for myself initially. And then I opened up the offering to other people.
I know that's awesome to hear that you saw that there was a need in the market for your sense of fashion and your style. And so you were able to create that. So awesome job on doing that. Every time I see you, you look like perfection. So
thank you.
It's all coming together. So we know that we've been going through COVID-19, quarantine, and just like life in general right now has been a little bit bleak. How are you managing your various businesses and even your 9-to-5, your corporate job during this time?
So COVID has really, in terms of business, it's brought all of the businesses for the most part to a halt. DJing, the gigs have either been canceled or they're rescheduled. And then many of them are now moving to the virtual platform, which isn't all the way new to me. However, it's a change. But in terms of Bold and Boss, because we do have a retail location that's been closed since early March. So that's been crippling on the retail end, but we have an online platform, thank God. And we are beefing up marketing there, really focusing on digitizing the business and moving forward there. But it's really been difficult. It's not easy being an entrepreneur, one, but then being an entrepreneur where you don't have any control over what happens with your business, what happens day to day. It's hard. But what I've been doing is just realizing that I'm blessed. Being above ground every day is a blessing, and I start my day just with gratitude for the fact that I'm still here, the fact that when things do turn around at some point, because they'll have to, I'll pick up the pieces and we'll just continue to keep going.
I know you're a DJ, so one of my favorite artists out there is the Jamaican, I don't know, is it Songstress? The one Coffee and songs about gratitude toast, right?
is a song called Toast, right? Toast, and then the artist is Coffee, correct?
Mhm.
Yeah, and I
Correct.
just love like listening to the lyrics because it always talks about like gratitude. And I think in this particular moment, expressing gratitude is very important to just our daily lives. Right?
Yeah, definitely.
So, if you had to do it all over again, starting up your businesses, especially during a special time like this where it's difficult to manage, would you do it again?
Absolutely. I would absolutely do it again. I would probably do it just slightly different because in 2018, when we launched our online platform first, and then we branched out into the retail space because we did have a local clientele. But if I could do it again, I would definitely focus more on being in the digital landscape because that is where I believe the future is going, as evidenced by the fact that the world is still going as COVID-19, the pandemic, is going on. But that's really it. I mean, I enjoy what I do. It's so far it's been working. Thank God. Let's hope that it continues. But yeah, I'm fine. We're gonna be okay.
We're definitely going to be okay. That's what I have to say to myself all the time. So, can you tell me, because I think you're able to multitask, and that's evidenced by, you going to work every single day, you DJing all over the place, all over the world, you running your boutique and, your hair services. How do you manage any adversity or doubts that ever come into your mind?
Well, I will say that I do have to give big kudos to my husband who keeps me motivated. Those days when I do not want to get out of bed and I'm like, okay, I'm over it all. He's like, get up,
Get together. He gets you together,
get
right?
it together. We have things to do. You have things to do. But also just being a role model. There are a lot of young women who look up to me, and you know, I'm I just find that you just have to keep going. You have to be able to motivate yourself. And I lean on music as ministry and therapy all of the time. I've started a new show on Sundays. It's called Sunday Best at 3 p.m. On FB and IG Live. And basically it's just music motivation through gospel, jazz, smooth R&B, where I use those songs to just motivate me and keep me going because music is really my ministry.
I think it's everyone's ministry during this time. I mean, I love getting on and listening to all the DJs play music. And, just for a little bit of time, it's like it escapes you to somewhere that is a little bit familiar and nostalgic. So, many thanks to you all the DJs out there that are doing this, everyone, because it really does help us to cope.
Oh, thank you. That's good to hear. Thank you.
Yeah. So some of the things that I heard you say is that, just motivating young women is really key to you. Are there any sound advice that you can give, not only to young women or women in general, just anyone, any entrepreneurs that are out there?
My advice is always go out on the skinny branch, follow your gut. If your heart tells you to do it and God makes a way, just follow your heart, follow your gut, and just know that things will work themselves out. People think that it's strange and you have to have a concrete plan and things have to go A, B, C, and D in that order. And for me, I believe in vision. And, as an artist, we're creative. So once there's a vision in my mind, I'm like, okay, this is what I want. This is what I'm going for. And once I set that goal, everything falls in place. And I think that people can really, if you have enough faith to just kind of go out on the skinny branch, things will follow suit.
Skinny branch. I love that. I really never heard that term before, but it really is the right term because if you are on the thicker branch, nothing would really happen to you. But it's the skinny branch where, you may potentially fall. And it's perfectly okay as an entrepreneur to fall and make mistakes, which leads me into my next question for you. What critical mistakes have you made? And, what ended up happening? Did it put you in a positive space? What were the learning lessons from that?
Because I'm multifaceted, my challenge has always been what people tell me you should focus on one thing. That I wouldn't say is a mistake. I probably could have excelled in one area or another more had I had or been able to do that type of focus, but I didn't want to.
No, you
So
didn't.
in a sense, it's a mistake. It could be viewed as a mistake. Like, okay, you could be greater if you had done this, but I'm living life as it's my book, it's my story, and this is how I want to live my life. So while others may think, okay, you should focus on one thing, I'm like, well, no, I like all three. So this is what we're doing.
No, I love that. I love that. I love that. You're living your story, her story. So, forget whatever they tell you to do. Go by what you think, what like really drives your heart and makes you really happy. So, Jamie, can you just give us any business tips in general that you live by?
Business tips that I live by: always customers first. The client, if you want to maintain your client base, you have to understand where they're coming from. Also, you have to understand the needs of the client. So for me, for music, I I love old school R&B, like soulful music. You have to understand who your audience is, um, and really speak to them and in their language. And that's my advice to an entrepreneur. Just know who your client is and always make sure that your messages and your messaging is geared towards that client.
I know in business school, they always say, you have to know your target audience. And I think just right now in this time, this age, you also have to just be really authentic in who you are, because that translates really well and, gets people to follow you and believe in you and want to support you. So I think that's
Totally agree.
really good. Like, you got to know your audience, you got to know your customers, and, you know, they're gonna be there to support you in the good and the bad times.
Exactly, exactly. You just have to be
Especially
authentic.
the ones who are supporting you always during the bad times.
That is so true.
So thank you for talking with us today. Can you let the folks know, where do you park at? How can they get in contact with you?
You can contact me at I am Miss Chu on Instagram and Facebook. We also are available online for Bold and Boss, and that's boldandboss.com, and at Bold and Boss Instagram and Facebook.
So if you want to get your hair needs taken care of, if you want to listen to a little bit of music, Miss Chu has it all wrapped up in one package for you.
Yeah, fashion, beauty, music. That's what we do.
Fashion, beauty, and music is awesome. And I think everyone appreciates that. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.